Why does birth control come in two confusing different variations? A 21-day version, and then down the street with its competitor, 28-day version. What's the deal? In this episode, I'll explain exactly why we have this confusion between 21 and 28-day birth control pills and why it's important when you're choosing a birth control pill. So in this episode, I'm going to dispel the confusion around why there's different digits for birth control pills. If you're on the market for a birth control pill, one of the first confusing things you're going to come across is that some of them, like this one here, Marvelon, come as a 21-day formulation. And this other guy, Yaz here, comes as a 28-day variation. And to make things even more perplexing, within the same brand itself, not even competing brands, for example, the same Marvelon, you can also get a 28-day version. So why on earth would you want, like, who in their right mind would prefer 28 tablets over 21 tablets? I think the math is pretty simple. I think most of us would prefer the least tablets, 21. But there is a good reason, a method behind the madness of why the manufacturers will still produce 28-day tablets. And it comes down very simply like this. The whole purpose of birth control is not simply as a birth control device, but to actually hijack the female reproductive system. So this is befuddled Becky here, and she's going on birth control for the first time, and she's wondering, should she start this 21-day formulation or should she go with the 28-day formulation, or sorry, vice versa. So to understand which she should choose, first thing we have to understand is the female reproductive cycle from one period to the next period. So in other words, from one menstrual cycle to the next one. So for most females, it's roughly around 28 days. So I'm just going to draw a calendar here. And we've got 4 weeks. And each week, as we all know, having 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, need to make it a little longer. 7. Now, simple math of that is that 7 days times 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 weeks, equals 28 days. Now, in the unadulterated cycle, the menstruating female will have 3 weeks here of peace, and then 1 week here of potential horrors, where you actually get the bleeding. And then you get the cramps and the nausea and the headaches and the moodiness, etc. So this week here is the write-off week, where as a female you would have your cycle. Now, doing the math again, if we look at these 3 rows here by 7 days, 7 days by 3 rows is equal to 21. Aha! So that's where our 2 magic numbers come from. The 21, for example, as in this one, and our 28. So let's crack open one of these packets here and get a look at what we're dealing with, so we can understand more. So here's a real example, and I do not get sponsored by any of these companies. These were just 2 that I had at my office. So I'm not trying to product push here or product placement here. So anyway, this is an example of a Marvelon 21. So 21 days. So if you count with me, we have it goes around starting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Lo and behold, there really are 21 tablets. No messing about. Now, in this other guy here, for comparison's sake, this is a competitor, and this competitor is called Yaz. Now let's count the known tablets in this sweet little packet here with these pink and white pills. So we got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 pills. The box did not lie. There really are 28 pills. So what is going on here with this discrepancy? Okay, well, if you remember when we go back here, the full cycle is 28 days, and the abbreviated subtracted cycle without the period of menstruation or bleed is actually 21 days plus 7 days here of the actual menstruation. So this is 7 days. So that's where the difference comes in. These both utilize hormones on days 1 to 21. So they both have that in common. They're both using hormones in the first 21 days to control the cycle and prevent conception. The big selling difference between these two agents is that this one has an extra 7 tablets. And what is actually in those 7 tablets? Obviously, we don't want hormones in them like up here, because then you would never get a period. So what the manufacturers typically do in these 28-day cycles is these last 7 tablets. Yaz is a little atypical, so you see that there's still pink here like all the rest with hormones in them. But just ignore that for a second. We're using this to extrapolate for all the 28-day brands. So in general, all these here would be white. So these 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ooh, magic again. These 7 here are basically inert, placebos, sugar tablets. I've never actually bitten into one of these to see if they're really sugar tablets, but they're purported to be sugar tablets. So why on earth would you want to do like the girl here on Marvelon with 21? Take your 21 tablets here, 3 rolls by 7 is 21, just like her. Why would you want to do that and then take 7 days of a placebo? Like, why would that make sense? Well, the reason is very simple. When you're a newbie to taking birth control pills, it is very easy to forget to start the next packet. So this girl here that's using the 21 day, she has an easy reminder by just punching out the tabs each day, 1, 2, 3, all the way down to 21. On day 21, then she has to stop for a week to permit herself a regular cycle for these 7 days here. But it's easy to get caught up in life and weekend work and maybe studying, partying, etc. So there's no reminder that you need to start your next packet when this next month starts over here. So this is month 2 now. This was month 1. So the beauty of the 21-day version is that it's a lot less tablets, because you get a free week with no hassle having to take tablets. The downside is that there's no built-in reminder of when it's time to start the next packet. And if you're late, then you could very well conceive or start having spotting through your next cycle because you were not on time, you were tardy. With this other method here, you keep taking the tablets past this 21-day barrier. For this week here of the bleed, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So each day corresponds to 1 tablet. So that's an easy way of tracking when it's time to start your next packet. Because when you get to this final one here, on this final day here, then you know, okay, it's time for me to break out my next box and take out a new packet and start all over again. Whereas with this unfortunate person here that took the easy way out with the 21 day, at the end of their 21-day cycle here, they may easily forget 7 days later, oh, it's time to break out my next box and start the next cycle. So generally, when I'm prescribing birth control to young females just starting birth control for the first time, I usually will recommend to them to take the 28-day version. And the reason why is because it is much easier for them to remember and avoid an unwanted pregnancy or other problems. For my more veteran clients that have been on birth control for a couple of years, or that are extremely meticulous with timetables and I feel very confident there's no chance they're going to forget, I'll recommend to them 21-day version. And again, remember that even within the same brand, this is a 21-day version, but Marvelon, this brand here, also comes in a 28-day. So the 21 versus 28-day doesn't really come into my mental zeitgeist when I'm trying to figure out what brand to put somebody on. The the numerical value of the tablets more has to do with, is this person new to taking birth control or are they old hand at taking it? So I hope that a little short expose explains to you very simply why there's a difference between the tablets. It's not to make life complex for you, it's actually to simplify your life. And in future videos, I'll explain some other doctor secrets. For example, how I would choose which brand to put somebody on. Anyway, that's it for now. I gotta run. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on another episode of Doctor Secrets.
Thanks for watching. Get notified of new videos. Subscribe now.